Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FEE3 2022 showcase for Fire Emblem Lady of Masks. My name is Xilirite. I'm both going to be the person playing the game, and I'm also the developer of this game. I guess that's probably the more important thing.
A little
uh,
bit.
Here with me, just like last year, is bpat. Hello, bpat.
Hi.
And today we're going to be playing 1-8. This is from close to the end of Act 1, after some pretty major shakeups in the story. And this time around, I'm actually going to let that story sort of play for a little bit here, while I give my little intro to what this hack is about, what I think sets it apart from other hacks here. So, Lady of Masks is a project that I think it's been public for a little bit over a year now. Something like that. It came out July
Something like
last year.
that. Yeah, I think it's a bit more than a year.
And one of its major focuses is the story. I've been a writer for like a decade or so. And this was a story that I had been sort of cooking up in my head as I played through some of the Fire Emblem games, and I was like, this seems like it could be like a cool story to tell. And then it ballooned into, it was going to be, I think, a 10 chapter sort of mini hack focused on basically what the plot of Act 1 is in the current build. And
Yeah, it's got 10 chapters, isn't it?
yeah, it was going to be just a short little thing. And now it's planned to be more than 30?
Oh, wow,
It's,
that's even bigger than I realized.
yeah, it'll probably end up being somewhere in the upper realm of 30, I think. Because I think right now the currently like planned chapter number, as in like just the chapters I know are going to exist, which doesn't even count Act 3 chapters, is like 24 or 25 chapters. And Act 3 is going to be a relatively long act, probably, considering it has multiple armies going on.
Is 3 supposed to be the final act? Are you
Yes,
gonna have 3?
that's the big sort of finale sequences. The structure of the game is going to be, right now we're with our Act 1 army here. This is Fane, that guy on the right with the red hair.
The guy who's off the screen at the moment?
He was there. I'm sure the
He was
audience
there.
remembers. One moment. And his journey to basically get revenge for the death of his family at the hands of the Halosians, who are very evil. Until you get to Act 2, and then you play as the Halosians. Sorry, as your main character in that section of the game begins to unravel this conspiracy that is sort of at the heart of the whole war. And at this point in the game, they're closing in on Karf, who is the guy that Fane wants to get revenge on, and they're just kind of cleaning up the last little loose ends of Act 1 here. And that's where we land here with this Janus character who bears a startling resemblance to, how do you pronounce his name?
I have no idea.
Kalak? Don't they
It's
actually
like,
in
it's like
Heroes?
Kellic, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it like,
didn't they pronounce it Kellic in Fire
isn't
Emblem
it like
Heroes?
Kellic? I think it's something like that.
That's
I don't
so
know.
awesome.
I think that'd be. I want to believe it's true
That's
because
so
it's
awesome.
funnier. So we have Kellic. It's fitting because he's super edgy, Janus.
Oh yeah, Janus the Bull. I love him. He's sort of a minor villain that has harassed the protagonists in the past, and this is the chapter where you finally get to deal with him. So, we're almost done this little story intro here,
Yeah.
and then we can get started. I think I've already done the prep screen, and I don't have to do anything. There's the way I set up this save was I just took a save that was a little bit past this chapter and reverted it. Just like skipped back to the start of this chapter.
Oh, nice. So you got some strong units, maybe?
I did reset their levels, except you get a promotion item on this level, and the thing I was using to change my units would crash if I tried to change their class back.
Oh no.
So we're gonna have 2 promoted healers for this map instead of just 1.
It's gonna break the entire game, isn't it?
Everything's gonna be broken. There's no way.
So this map has a. Are we gonna? Okay, we're actually at the map. It has a pretty unique objective as far as chapters go. It's got multiple aspects to it, right?
Yes. So your first objective, the one that they were talking about, is these caravans. They can only move on these roads, and they have a relatively limited move range. And they're going to try to move all the way up through to here and escape. You don't need to actually let them escape as long as they survive the map. You'll get their rewards, but they can also escape. And you can guarantee that they won't be damaged if they get out of the map.
Huh.
Your
I
secondary
never noticed the road
objective.
thing before.
I think it's because I had to add it because
Yeah.
I was not satisfied with their pathfinding being somewhat random. Like sometimes they could just basically decide they wanted to go a really weird route.
Yeah, this lets people predict where they'll go, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, mostly it's just to these convoys or these caravans on the left. No matter how fucked up their movement gets, they will never be able to pass through this sort of vertical line here. So they will never try to take this path up. Which means that you can't, like, have the caravans all bunch up and protect them one by one.
You can't corral them.
Yeah. So, we've got here our units. Most of them are pretty typical, but real quick, I'm going to highlight one of the more unique types of units we have in this game. This is Price. He's a scoundrel. He's sort of a middle ground between a thief and a mercenary, and that he gets Steel Plus. If you watched last year's presentation, in that map we actually recruited Price. That's where we found him. But also on this map we have Scarlet, who's sort of the same thing, but with Lock Touch instead of Steel, which doesn't really come into play on this map, but it's one of the things that I'm sort of experimenting with this game, is these sort of halfway thieves, so to speak.
Yeah, and Steel Plus here, it lets you steal unequipped weapons with the weight less than your con, right?
Yes, and this Price has the body ring from this map. But under normal circumstances, he'd be able to steal anything that was under 8 weight, which is a very carefully curated list of weapons. And he can sort of act as even if you have a regular thief deployed, you can sort of get this extra set of objectives, so to speak. And here we have Fane, our lord, with not focus.
And that still used to be super crazy.
Alright, and we're back. Had to do a little cut there. We were talking about Warpath. A little damage buff as long as Fane is on his own. And we can use that. Here he probably just kills anyways, but it can let him get some kills that might otherwise be difficult for him to grab.
Yeah, Finn's definitely really good at just raw offense. He's not really good at taking hits, but he doesn't need to be.
He really doesn't need to be. He's the definition of a glass cannon. And here we've got Kyo, the Hat Mage.
Oh wait, what does Storm do again? That's her personal weapon, isn't it?
Yes, this one is Wrath. Just gives the skill Wrath the way it's normally implemented. I think it actually gives more crit, because everything gives more crit in this game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you like the 40 number for crit, I noticed.
do.
Like,
It's-
your killer weapons all have 40 crit, right?
It's it's more consistent without being like a dramatic buff. Just makes it easier to count on. And here we have Ileana with 18 magic.
Oh, wow.
She, I think she can one-shot this guy? Yeah.
Yeah, like, speaking of glass cannons, oh man, it'd be
This will
crazy.
never
if it
miss.
though.
If it misses, we'll do a really fast reset. It'll be funny. It's funny, I don't usually play with the animations on, so I've kind of forgotten that most of my spells don't actually have their animations put in game yet. So it's always funny to be reminded, like, oh yeah, I never did do that, huh? And here's our cheating, hacked healer.
How could you?
Not even supposed to exist. Alright, I'll leave animations on for a little bit longer, but we really don't have that many custom animations in the hack, honestly. So I'll probably turn them off in a little bit, mostly to save on time. I don't know how long this chapter will end up taking.
That's a pretty cool palette for Raphael.
Yes.
I also
love
play with
Raphael.
animations on, so I didn't notice until now.
And I believe we were also going to say, but we got a little bit sidelined. The ultimate objective for this map is to kill Janus over here. He's the leader of Janus's bulls. And we've also got this character here who you're not really intended to fight, even if you could reach her. She has a pretty scary weapon.
Oh, that is 3 range now. Yeah,
It
that's not
is.
somebody you want to mess with.
Yeah, she'll kill you dead pretty easily.
Yeah, she's like almost as powerful as Xilirite, right?
Maybe even more powerful. This
Wait,
character-
where's all their stats?
You had a different kind of Silene. Yours was atypical, let's say.
I think she's still pretty great, though.
She's pretty strong, yeah. She does really good stuff with a magic lance.
Yeah, her personal skill, I believe it makes her... Was it more damage when she's not counted or more damage when ranged? I don't remember.
More damage when ranged.
Yeah, so
There's
she's
our
good with
duplicate promotion item.
both javelins and with the new magic lance.
Yes.
That she makes great use of.
Now we didn't get to see this character in the first FEE3, but this is Zoe, who gets a little bit of extra range when she heals, to sort of make up for not having the mounted advantage. It comes especially in handy with a lot of the various like utility things, where it just gives her even more range on top of the range that they'd already have.
Is it a flat +1?
Yes. Yeah, it's not scalable or anything like that. Can he do it? Yes, he can.
Wow.
He's
What a
so
baller.
cool.
Yeah, and I really like the palettes here. I never really had a chance to actually take a look at them until now, but they're pretty great across the board.
I believe a few of these are mine. The majority of them I think were done by Rose, actually, the developer behind A Vestrian Tale. Another hack that you should check out. One I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, same here actually. It's a great one.
And the rest were done sort of on like a person-by-person basis. I know I had Estat helped with a few of them, which I greatly appreciated. I believe... Oh no, I've forgotten his name.
Oh, that's an interesting animation for William, isn't it?
This one's on the forum thread. That's been there for years. You can tell where my priorities are at.
Which rally did he have? I saw he had the rally option.
He has rally... Where is it? Move?
Was it move? Yeah.
Yeah, I love this one. You can give one person lots of extra move, or everyone a little bit of extra move.
Yeah, it's cool that he has a bit of versatility that you normally don't see on refresher units.
What? There's an enemy face song in this game? I didn't even know that.
Oh man.
See, this is actually all my secret ploy to get people to play with animations off so the game goes faster. You don't want to hear vanilla FE8 music, do you?
That would be a disaster.
That would just be unfortunate.
What's Brine do? That's her personal weapon, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it is brave and also gives resist.
Oh wow, yeah. She just obliterated that wyvern.
To be fair, I think she would have done that with a regular weapon as well, but I could be wrong. Alright. now we're going to turn our animations off and go a little bit faster. So Gale here, this is our trainee. I believe this character was in the original showcase.
She must have been, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah,
definitely
you have
joined
her
by that
then.
point. Yeah, she definitely joins by then.
Whew. The crit, so cool.
Nice. Too bad we didn't have the animation on for that. Oh, skill ring. That's
Yes.
pretty interesting.
She doesn't really need the bulk, and sometimes a little bit of extra hit is nice.
Yeah, for sure. There's no real downside on a mostly ranged unit.
I have a dog barking if you'd like to carry commentary for a bit.
Sure, sure. So I know that there's some exciting stuff in store for the future of this game. Basically, the hack is going to be ported over to be using the build files format, so that several very spicy new mechanics can be introduced. Perhaps most notably is the magic system is going to be reworked from the ground up, so that it's not just another weapon type anymore after these changes go through. There's going to be, I know, AoE magic. There's going to be some funky ranges, I believe.
Yeah, so the plans that I have for the magic system going forward, I guess actually to rewind slightly, there's a ton of stuff that I've wanted to do for this game for a very long time that I've just kind of struggled to do with FE Builder. There's a very long, somewhat pretentious forum post that I wrote about it all when I made the decision. Yeah, he says. It was pretty pretentious.
It was, so that's definitely what I was agreeing about. I know that one of the gripes was the held items like the skill ring would stack, so you used to be able to buy shields, for instance, and then you could stack like 3 shields on the same unit.
Yeah, and I hated that. I wanted to be able to have holdable items be something that you can sort of use as a way to personalize your army, in a sense.
Right, not just give all of them to the same unit and make a super unit, right?
Yeah, and I hated that was possible, and I couldn't find a solution with the tools that I had available to me. It drove me up the freaking wall that there's just this like core design element that I had wanted to design a lot of the game around that I was just not able to take advantage of. Before I kill this guy's funny. He's got every magical weapon
and the
crystal
sword?
charm. It's not an iron sword, it's clearly a crystal charm. Come on.
It looks a little bit like an iron sword, but tragically cannot steal this stuff.
And that gives him a little bit of a different profile, but unfortunately, I have the res tanks here. I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, see, Silene is obviously really good because she can just kick that guy's butt. I like how the promoted enemies, which are generally in this game, I find they're very difficult to deal with. The promoted generics, like their health is so high that you really struggle to do a lot of damage. That guy was kind of an exception because you just kill him with magic units and he doesn't do any damage to them.
Yeah, I did position them to be in range, but
Yeah.
yes, that's sort of his thing.
But they have like the different title, like Bloodied Bull versus a regular bull.
Yes, the Bloodied Bull. His most trusted warriors.
It's a bit of fun
Versus
flavor.
regular bulls. Lame normal bulls. Get it together, bulls. And here's one of those kills that Warpath really lets us pick up easily.
Yeah, let's just save that. Silver Bow, I think it was.
It is a silver bow. It doesn't have... actually, it has quite a few
That's
uses.
a lot of uses. It has all the uses.
You wouldn't normally have that many uses. Normally, those would have been used up by... Yes, do it. Yes! So awesome. We've got a lot of units here that I wish that I knew that we'd have time to, like, show them all off and look at what's cool about them all. But, I've run into time constraints before in FE3. I would rather just try to avoid that, you know?
Yeah, and this is definitely a long chapter. Like, just look at the map, right?
Yeah, we're still only in the beginning. Although, it is deceptively... there's a point where you'll realize that you actually have control over the map where you may have thought that you didn't earlier.
Yeah, at some point you don't need to worry about the caravans and can just go kill the boss before they leave the map.
Yeah. That's part of why I had to modify it so that you didn't have to actually escort them all out. But, anyways, to return to that point I was making earlier, because this is the big thing that's going on with this hack, sort of, right now. The current build, which you can find on the forum, it's public, and it will probably be the last update that this version of the game has for quite some time, I would say.
The last content update, right?
Yes, I will probably be doing little balance fixes here and there. If there's something that's really, really off, I can't really do anything more productive with you this turn, can I? I could do this, but I feel like this is like...
You might get owned by that axe mercenary.
Yeah, let's check how strong. 21.
That's pretty strong.
Oof. Yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of damage. But I don't know if anyone besides the Merm will be in range.
Oh yeah, if you just javelin him.
And the Merm will do
doesn't
what?
Move.
12? So that's 16 health. More than that much damage. Or is it exactly that much damage?
I don't know.
Does Stormpoint have weapon triangle?
Pretty sure it does. Oh, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
But does it matter because like you're facing a sword and an axe?
Yeah, I think the sword would be brought down. Yeah, it would be 12.
It would neutralize,
That's
right?
what would do it. Damn.
Oh,
Well,
you could just have her chill for a bit. Or axe raper bait, right?
Yes, we can axe reef. There we go. I found the productive thing to do this turn. We did it. Let's go.
It's a very
Good try,
heavy
Eliza.
decision. She's getting some experience.
Let's go, Scarlet. I'm gonna say that's all because of the killer buffs.
I do find killers pretty reliable. There's a lot of times where I'll just have somebody like Gregory the Armor Knight. I don't know if he's deployed here, is he?
He is not, no.
How could you? But he's a great
did
user.
that?
Great user of the killer axe, though. I find a lot of the time he can just face like 3 guys an enemy face and crit 1. That's pretty great.
Who the hell put heal AI on this map? This is ridiculous.
And yeah, you should really go speak to the developer about that. I hope that he would know better.
This guy's dumb.
What does Defile do? Does it do anything fancy, or does it just have a
It's
fancy
just
icon?
huge.
Because it does have a fancy icon. Wow, that is very heavy too.
It's a very fancy icon, but it's mostly just huge. It's 4 damage up from wound, which is itself, I believe, 4 damage up from flux. So this would be like, I guess this is your silver equivalent for the dark weapons.
Yeah, that's a very powerful tome, especially on a unit with such high magic like Ileana.
Exactly. It really opens her up to a lot of one shots. Although here she doesn't even need it; she can just use wound.
Yeah.
And I didn't show off there, but that weapon that Myrmidon was using, the Quicksilver Sword.
Oh, is that the Myrmidon only weapon?
Yes, that one is unique because it is. It will have like an unconditional desperation effect. If you're not familiar with desperation, that is the skill that allows you to have your follow-up attacks happen consecutively, rather than have them be interrupted by the enemy.
Yeah,
So
like before the counterattack.
yeah, price should be fine to make this move. Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, since we were talking about icons earlier, I noticed that your icons look a lot different from the vanilla one, aside from that funny iron sword the general had.
Yes, these are. Not all of these icons are custom yet. Some of them are vanilla, some of them are repo stuff from earlier builds. But long term, I plan on doing a full suite of custom icons. So we have most of the basic weapons here are custom for, I believe, every weapon except bows and tomes. So here we've got a bunch of different... Is this vanilla? I forget. Anyway.
I don't know. I think it looks a little fancy, but hard to say. I don't remember off the top of my head.
We've got the iron axe here. I believe there's a steel axe here.
Yeah, they all have like a ribbon, and I guess the ribbon differs between the material the weapon's made out of.
Yes.
Steel and iron all have the same ribbon.
Here we have the armor slayer. I don't actually like this icon.
What the? That is a funny weapon.
It's supposed to look like it's like segmented, like it's like two swords in like almost like a V shape. It doesn't work. I'll probably change it.
Yeah, it looks like a sword that's like had its tip broken off, right?
Yeah, it was an experiment. It failed.
Yeah.
I believe down here we have the silver blade.
The cool blue.
And of course, Minos is also a custom icon. Although it is just a lightly updated version of the vanilla weapon.
Of which vanilla weapon?
The, whatever the S rank
The
is
S rank,
called.
yeah. Oh yeah, and you changed the palette, didn't you? For the items.
No. I was going to. But I kind of realized that it was going to be a lot of work to, because like everything would be ugly until I updated everything.
That's
so
true.
It's sort of like,
What the heck is Sigil Axe?
that's our magic weapon. It's unfortunately somewhat inaccurate.
It
so
seems
I
like it
don't really
ignores
wanna use
triangle
it here.
too.
Yeah, I need to fix that. I don't actually like that very much. I think we're just going to use Brian here.
Yeah, well fortunately it's a pretty easy thing to fix.
Who has the hammer actually? Yeah, it's you. Alright, then you're going to kill this thing. Nice and easy.
Wow, that's a lot of strength. He's like a
He's
physical
indeed.
Ileana.
He's
Like someone
he's
with
a
like
big
double
guy.
the health. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to use Ram. I was like, Gregory's passe. Everyone knows that guy. It's whatever.
Yeah, Ram is the more avant-garde choice, you know, he's just a more ambitious unit to bring.
The more artistic unit. Hey, that works. This bishop character here is always a wild card.
Yeah, you never know what she's gonna do. She might just go heal somebody random.
Let's finish this one off. And I believe, unless there's like a unit hiding someplace that I just like didn't even notice, that we should be fine. Raphael might get doubled if she chooses to attack him, but he'll be fine. He's a big guy. So while I just move my units into position here, I'll continue that topic I was talking about before. A lot of things are going to get reworked in this big port that I'm doing. And definitely what you said earlier was correct in that one of the sort of the initial impetus for even doing that rework in the first place was that I wanted to no one else can actually, I wanted to make mages a little bit more distinct. Not long before playing this game, making this game, I played XCOM 2 again. And XCOM 2 is one of my favorite games ever. Warts and all. It's not perfect, but I like it quite a bit. And one of the things I really enjoy about that game is the way AoE works in it. And for anyone who is unfamiliar with that, oh, that would have been lethal.
Well, how much damage did that guy do?
20.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. It's even like triangle disadvantage, right?
Yeah, I think so. Jeez.
What the heck weapon does he have?
I believe he has a tomahawk, although these are not vanilla FE8 tomahawks.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Wow.
I think he just has huge strength and Price is not very tanky. Alright, well. Steel? Oh my god, it's so free.
Oh, that's crazy. It's almost like he has Steel Plus or something.
This is nuts. How does he get away with this kind of stuff? Anyway. So, the way AoE works in that game is you might have a character brought a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher or something along those lines to a map. And usually, if you fire that thing once, it is gone. That is the only time you will get to use that weapon for that map. Which means that you're sort of incentivized... Damn, we really can't get these, huh?
Oh, he's got the funny Dread Omen. Well, the good thing is that he doesn't do any damage either.
Oh, so close. Yeah, the Dread Omen makes this guy pretty hard to deal with. But, basically turns him into a little magical armor knight of sorts.
You can ignore him, right? Unlike the armor knight, it's not like he's doing any damage.
It's true. You better hope I don't start giving those guys crystal charms. I would never start doing that.
That would be really messed up.
I would. I totally would. No one's ready.
I know I'm not ready.
Damn.
Yeah, the guy's just... The
I'm
game's just too close for the skill.
Oh,
Nice crit.
it's too easy. Anyway, I had like a backup plan, but whatever. I guess that works too, guys.
Yeah, it was planned from the start. That was the backup plan, was the crit.
We're gonna visit this house. Oh, it's Faru. I love this guy.
Faru's pretty great. He's like the speedy lancer, right?
He is. He has incredible speed for when he joins. As well as quick burn. And in the next map, he also gets to gain one of those Quicksilver weapons, but for his class as opposed to Myrmidon's.
Wow, that's a pretty great inventory he's got.
Yeah, it's almost like he's being loaded from a save or something.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. That's why he has 5 items.
Oh,
wow. I'm kind of a pro.
What a cheater.
Might actually make use of that. Whoops. Make use of that elixir he's got on him. Yeah, I think I will.
Give it to Silene, right?
Yeah. Let's equip that. Do some trading. Feel free to take the Slim Lance.
It's gonna come in handy.
It'll give him 19 speed.
It's like what he really needs to hit and double some Myrmidon.
And we now have these cavalry to worry about who are going to sort of come up the rear here. I'm probably going to have Scarlet deal with them and just hope that she doesn't miss that. If she does, it's you know, it's fine, I guess. We'll work something else out. We always have the physics staff if we need it, or the sleep staff for that matter.
Oh yeah. It occurs to me you could rally move the green guys, right?
Maybe. I don't know if it works on greens, actually. I've never tried it. If it is, it's not meant to, so I'm going to pretend it doesn't work and not show it off. That problem would be resolved in the port, so it's not even worth thinking about, man.
Not at all. Well, it is worth thinking about because it's funny.
Oh, that's true. Does she actually just take, like, no damage from all of these? God, I love Eliza.
Yeah, she has like good resistance, right? Or is it that the Myrmidon doesn't have so much magic?
I think it's that the Myrmidon doesn't have very much magic. I'm pretty sure the Myrmidon's going to go for Raphael anyways, but I'm going to equip the Javelin just in case that's not how that shakes out.
I guess it'll incentivize the Myrmidon to go.
I could have done this, though.
Yeah, you could have killed. Wow, that is so accurate.
The hatchet's awesome. I love the hatchet.
Oh, it's like a slim weapon.
I think it's also because of the Intimidate.
Oh, right. Even with that, even without that, that'd be a lot of hit rate for triangle disadvantage. Pretty useful weapon.
Ram, look out! They're gonna hit you with their swords. You'll be at weapon triangle disadvantage.
Not against the flame brand though. If the flame brand goes for him.
Flame brand could do anything. It's a mystery. No crit? Oh, so sad.
Very tragic. Well,
Hack's
that's
1 RN.
a lot of damage.
The hack isn't 1 RN. That was a joke.
No way. You would lie to me.
I might, if I think it's funny.
How
I got
could
doubled.
you? Oh wow.
Oh man, I always forget.
Yeah.
Merm's actually scary in this one.
Yeah, Raphael's not super fast. He's got like okay
He's
speed.
not,
It's not
yeah.
it's not great.
He also has the shield, so he's a little bit weighed down.
Oh yeah.
But Merms get pretty fast.
Imagine if he had like 4 shields though. That would be crazy.
Wow, that would be nuts. Would that even be allowed? Kill this guy.
That's a huge mystery.
So, I guess I should finally finish the point I'm making. After 1 million minutes of talking about it. But, essentially, the one and done AoE, not magic, from XCOM is a feature that I really, really like. It's really fun to decide where you're going to use your AoE on a map. It's really fun to have these like powerful tools that can really like swing a fight and do crazy things. And it means that they can be really aggressive with the kinds of encounters that they put you up against. Because you have such powerful tools, and if you know how to use them, you can trivialize damn near anything the game could throw at you. If you are good at the game, you can do some really, really crazy stuff. Can I just physic? I can. That's awesome. And I really like that dynamic, because one of the things I think that strategy games are really good at is making the player feel like they're smart, right? The way I always frame it is that it will make them feel as though they've outsmarted the developer, like they've done something that they weren't even meant to be able to do. When of course, it's exactly what the developer wanted them to do. It's the exact reason that those tools were given to them. And I think that's something cool that strategy games can do. Damn it, that doesn't do quite enough damage. And it's something that I really wanted to lean into, because those kinds of aha moments where you feel like you figured out something really clever and did something that sort of really put you ahead, they're really fun to me. They're like my favorite part about most strategy games that I play. And I really wanted to try to create a sandbox that facilitated them more.
So, in what way is your magic going to be reflecting this XCOM inspiration?
Well, these PRF tomes, there was already a plan prior to deciding all this stuff to have every mage have a PRF tome, no matter what. If you're a mage, you have a PRF, it's your special spell. Most of them would have pretty high uses and be decent to strong, depending on where they are in the game. Like, the Storm Tome here, if you aren't at Wrath range, is just like an okay tome. It's like a more accurate Thunder Tome. Doesn't weigh her down as much. The Heresy Tome, which I haven't used on this map because...
It's overkill.
Yeah, Ilion is past the point of really needing it. But the Heresy Tome is a brave tome with not very many uses that's meant to get her through the early game to the point that she can actually set up these one-shots. And if you manage to save them for long enough, then it can also be like a very powerful way to do tons of damage, because, you know, 5 might isn't a lot, but when you have 19 magic, it doesn't really matter that much if you're hitting twice.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because, like, she can't one round anything early aside from using the Heresy, so she kind of wants to use it to get experience, but then she kind of doesn't want to use it because it's so useful when she has like 20 magic.
Yeah, it's always an interesting balance that you want to strike. And that's always something that like I push in a lot of how this game is structured. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's like trying to ask you to do these long-term bits of planning and have you like, oh, what's the term I would use? I can't think of it, so I'm
Like
just going to say,
long-term
how do you
resource
think?
manage?
Yeah. Thinking about whether or not you want to use something now or later
Yeah.
is something I really like about the FE games that they often fail at, because usually the correct option is to just use the thing, because chances are you could do basically anything with like an iron weapon. You would like probably be more or less fine. It's not the most inspiring. So I like to try to design the game in such a way that you feel like you have to make these big decisions that will matter both for the current map and for later maps. And a lot of what I wanted to do with this AoE magic idea was introduce that concept on a more micro scale. These AoE tomes that I would be using in this context, they would be like maybe 1 to 2 uses per map, maybe 3.
Oh, so it'd be like 3 houses where you recover uses of them.
Yes.
3 maps.
There would also be, I wanted to do a, what's the term for it? Inspired by, I wonder if I take the gamble on the crit or if I just go for
You
the
can
hit.
rescue him out if he doesn't crit.
I guess let's see what our other options are. But I wanted to do something similar to the... Wow. Oh, Faru. That's no
Oh
good.
man, he gets owned. He can even get crit.
He could. Oh, man.
Not like it matters when he's that low health. When Janus does that much damage.
I think we're just going to take the silver bow. I think we have lethal damage here. But, gosh, what the hell was I saying? I was making a point, damn it.
It's about AoE.
It was about
finishing
AoE.
Unis's.
I wanted to use a feature from Valkyria Chronicles, which is the like special orders system where movement, like any move that you do in that game, is off of a like a priority, not a priority, like a resource system of sorts, where you can like to do any move, you have to spend like one of these tokens that you have like an amount of per turn, and you can also use these to do these orders, which instead give like a powerful buff or debuff or whatever else. They do a variety of things, and I wanted to do something like that, but have it be, instead of tapping into the regular move resource, which this game already has plenty of stuff. Can I really not reach Silene even after that? It's so unfortunate.
Not quite.
Um,
But you would have a unique resource that would only be used for this. Is
yes. And those would probably go through Fane, and as you would unlock different armies, you would also unlock different sets of these tools.
Oh, that is interesting.
So if you were with the Act 2 army, for instance, you could have a very different set of tools that you're using to accomplish this. Can I just, like, trade...
And Samantha,
Saga?
maybe? Maybe Chip?
I think we can get this kill.
Yeah, she can just walk up and bop
Samantha
him.
can get it. But in essence, those were all the big changes I wanted to make to try to really turn this game into something that isn't just like a Fire Emblem game, you know? I wanted it to be something more, something unique, something with its own rhythm of play and its own unique tool set that you wouldn't see in the regular Fire Emblem games.
Right, you keep the core Fire Emblem gameplay loop, but add a unique twist.
Yeah, and that was something that I was constantly thinking that just like, I really wanted to do this with my game. It was like the more that I would think about development, I'd be like, I like this game. And I do. I really like this build of the game. I think it's fun. I think
I
it's
like the build of the
dynamic.
game.
So the changes I'm making are not like me trying to fix this game that's just not working, so much as it is, I believe the way I put it in the forum post was that I was constantly thinking that this is not the game that I could be making, and it's not the game that I should be making. It's a good game, and a game that I enjoy, but it's not the game that I want to have made with, all the years of my life that would go into it. So I want
Right.
to do something that is closer to the things that I value most about this genre. Because I love strategy games. I play so many different strategy games. Fire Emblem is just one of them. And I really wanted to do something that was a synthesis of all the things I've learned through all the different strategy games I've played. Oh my gosh, these
Hello,
dogs.
dogs.
And, oh my gosh.
They
Take
are
away,
very
bpat.
excited today. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool to basically, rather than just being like, what can I do with the tools that the Fire Emblem GBA engine offers me? Instead take inspiration from all these other games and essentially Xilirite is picking the parts that seem to struck with him most about these games and trying to translate that into the Fire Emblem framework. So I am personally very excited to see how that turns out. As you mentioned, the current build of the game is pretty good. Honestly, I like it a lot, and I think that I encourage everybody to check out the Act 1 patch. But ultimately, these changes will bring it a little bit closer to the core vision of what he wants the game to be, based on all the time playing various SRPGs, Fire Emblem and otherwise.
He's still going. But even
Yeah,
beyond strategy RPGs, just strategy games in general,
right,
4X
right.
games, roguelikes, even just like board games and stuff like that, Or like games that are only loosely strategy games, like a CRPG or a particularly involved JRPG, right? Like any game that has this sort of larger element of strategy to it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of actually on that subject. What are some of the biggest influences that you've got for Lady of Masks? What cut? There was no cut.
Oh, there was no cut. Um, and yeah, I think I've talked about it, but one of my biggest inspirations is Slay the Spire, and not just Slay the Spire as a game, because obviously it's not even remotely similar to Fire Emblem, outside of like the broadest, vaguest possible strokes of both games being video games.
Both are games that both involve strategy and
Yeah,
decisions.
but specifically, there's a content creator that I watch who is, he'd hate me saying this, but he's one of the best players in the world at that game. He's really, really good. And that's why I watch his content. And he is good at basically every strategy game that he plays. And listening to him discuss strategy, how he approaches strategy games, the ways that strategy games can enrich somebody in ways that other games might not be able to if they're just more reflex oriented or skill oriented or whatever else.
Oh no, Janice died.
Not Janice, I loved that guy. Um, it colored the way that I look at strategy games as a whole, in a way that really dramatically shifted my perception of what a strategy game should be, and what it can be, more or less. Which was something that was a change that happened after I started this project. So, on the design goals that I started Lady of Masks on, I think it works perfectly. I think it's a very fun game. I got it into a position that I was very, very fond of, and I got to the end of Act 1, which is the end of the first real big story arc. It hits all the major beats I wanted it to. The gameplay flows the way I wanted it to. The units mesh in a way I like. All of that is perfect, and I love it. Maybe not perfect. It's pretty good. I like it.
I
I
like
like
it
my
too.
hack. And the issue is that while those goals were the goals I had when I started, and I believe I achieved them, they're not necessarily the goals I have now. And as I design towards those older goals, I am acutely aware the entire time that there are other things I want to be doing with the medium. There are things I want to be doing that FE Builder can't quite do. I'm not even, this part's me, I'm considering Lex Talonus, I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking about it. We'll see where the project ends up.
Lex Xilionus.
The Lex Talonus, it's gonna come. But we'll see what I end up deciding on as I get closer to actually executing on that port. But for now, of course, I'm focusing on this FEE3. And speaking of, about 3 minutes ago or whatever the hell, that was the end of this FEE3 showcase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that the gameplay interested you, and I hope that this little discussion about the future of this game and just the way I design games, sort of the philosophy behind it. I didn't get super far into it. Again, you can read that forum post if you want more of my thoughts. I hope all of that was interesting to you, and that it gets you as excited as I am for the next build of this game, because I'm so excited to get started. I am absolutely swimming in ideas, and I have the drive to actually execute them. Or maybe not execute them necessarily, but implement them. They might fail, but I'll try them. And yeah, thank you so much, bpat, for joining me here.
Yeah, I had a great time with it. And
thank you so much for all the invisible spectators who have all left by now, but there were about 4 of them.
Well, shout outs to the 1 or 2 people who are still here.
No, it's just us.
Oh no, yeah,
everyone left. Everyone left. We had a few invisible people watching us. Big shout out to them. I love you guys. I love all the work that we've done together. Not on this project, but on other projects. And yeah, so I'm gonna say that's the end of this one. I hope you're enjoying your FE3 so far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your FEE3 as well. This has been Xilirite and bpat for Fire Emblem Lady of Masks. I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.